It is March 30th, day 69 of the Trump presidency. It's Sunday. Hopefully you guys are having an okay day. I've seen some... Sorry, I'm just laughing because I was just having a flashback to a picture of Trump wearing this. I gotta figure out how to put pictures in here. I mean, I kind of know. It's more just that I don't have time to like go in and edit videos like that right now. But anyways, he's wearing like a blue suit coat, but the bottom, it looks like his pants are made out of plastic and they're a different color than his suit coat. And he's standing on something that like raises his feet up because you know how he like lurches forward when he stands. So it's like to like, I don't know, help him stand up straight. That's a good sign. Anyway. Oh, this is not good. ICE has detained a farm worker who is a union leader. His name is Lilo Juarez Zeffirino, in Northwest Washington. This actually happened 5 days ago. I think a lot of these stories are getting pretty heavily suppressed wherever they are able to suppress them. Obviously, in situations where students are getting like pulled off the streets and detained and stuff, it's just making its way to the news too quickly and they can't do it. But with this story, I saw the headline, but then I had to like go and look for the details. In any case, he tried to defend himself by not answering any questions and like staying in his car. I think he was probably waiting for help, like, I don't know, a lawyer or something. In any case, they broke his car windows and pulled him out and detained him. He has no criminal record. He actually just recently received the Dottie Dale Youth Peacemaker Award back in 2023. He's only 25, so he's pretty young. That award he got was for volunteer work and organizing. Obviously, they're going to be going after people that are helping those communities, because they don't, the last thing they want, they're obviously targeting unions now directly. They don't want people to have power, and they certainly don't want immigrant communities to have power. Very sad. Not surprised. We are not in a good situation. Speaking of not being in a good situation, so Republicans are introducing legislation to abolish the TSA. I can't say I'm like a little bit surprised by that. I know that they are on this rampage to just like destroy every single government agency in existence, but you would think that they would want help keeping people and certain things out of the country from the TSA. You know what I mean? Anyways, I don't know if they have plans to replace it with anything or if they're just like whatever. It's you can't have it both ways though. Like you can't have a law-abiding country with no systems in place. It's just not a thing. And also, you can't have a society without systems in place. What is the benefit to us of a society? Like, what makes you think that people are going to continue to participate in a system that is literally giving them nothing? I just don't see it. It's not going to last. You may be able to scare people into participating for a brief period of time, but eventually people are going to realize, like, why would I be here? You're going to lose your people to immigration, is I think what I'm getting at here. People are going to leave. Like me, Anyways, not good. RFK is laying off the entire Office of Infectious Disease, along with the AIDS and HIV policy office, basically. But it's not just AIDS and HIV, obviously. It's all infectious diseases, which would include measles. He is an idiot, and I literally can't stand him. And hospitals in Texas are now treating a bunch of kids that have shown up with vitamin A poisoning because he went on the news or wherever he told people you can prevent measles with high doses of vitamin A. Well, vitamin A is poisonous. It's actually pretty easy to overdose on it, especially if you're taking it in a vitamin form. It's something you need to be really careful about. And those kids are infected with measles and suffering from vitamin A poisoning now. It's really not good. I mean, I wish those parents would sue him. I'm sure they won't. They'll probably just keep doing that shit. One of the people that lost their child to measles already said that they don't regret it and that they would do it again, which is just disgusting and makes me feel like they shouldn't have children. I'm just grossed out by all of it. He's a shitty person and I don't like him. I mean, I don't like any of those people. Let's again, wish I could put this into an image for you that I could just toss up here. I'm just not going to take the time to do it. But my friend posted this really funny meme today calling them the Turd Reich. And it's just like pictures of like Trump and RFK and JD Vance and Elon all looking like Nazis. It was great. Anyways, speaking of Nazis, Trump just told NBC News and other news organizations, like I saw CNN reported on it too, that he has not at all ruled out seeking a third term, that there's ways that he is thinking about doing it, and that he's serious about it. It's not a joke. Not that we thought it was. I mean, I never thought it was a joke to begin with. I think some people didn't take it seriously. I don't think he's going to be alive. I just don't. We'll see. I could be wrong. Of course, I've been wrong before, but I just don't. I don't see it. The man needs to be propped up in order to stand up straight. So I don't know. I just don't feel like he's doing that well. I don't know if this is an act or if this is genuine, because I think both things are totally possible. But Trump is angry with Putin because Putin attacked Kharkiv yesterday and bombed them. And I think he bombed a military hospital, maybe. Anyways, there's only 2 deaths, which is not, I mean, we never want any deaths at all, but at least it's not a huge amount. I think there's more damage to buildings and stuff. In any case, Putin's not supposed to be doing this, according to Trump, and Trump is threatening tariffs on Russian oil. Again, I think there's 2 possibilities here. I think that Trump is a narcissist and doesn't have any loyalty to anyone, even if he owes them something. So that is a real thing, and if he feels like what Putin is doing is making him look weak or bad, which it is, then he might just attack him, okay? So I think that I'm sort of leaning in that direction. I think there's also a possibility that they're we have to pretend like we're not the same entity on the world stage. Again, I think that's less likely than Trump is just, as a person, doesn't have loyalty. Even if he owes you his life, I don't think it matters. So it'll be interesting to see that relationship continue to unfold. Now that Trump is in this position where he is in the power seat, right? He's already in office. He doesn't need anything from Putin. And so if Putin does things that he doesn't like, he's always on a huge power trip, right? He definitely doesn't see Putin as being above him or see himself as being beholden to him or anything. So again, will Russia retaliate towards him too? Or what's up? I don't know that we'll ever know the full extent of what has gone on behind closed doors, but I am personally very curious about it, about their interactions and their relationship at this point. This is honestly probably the biggest story today, or just in general right now, because it's a really big deal to us and to the world. But so I know we talked about how Trump has been threatening Iran because they have been ramping up their behind the scenes production of nuclear weapons, right? And Trump is you cannot have nuclear weapons, okay? So Iran, though, is saying they will not directly negotiate with him. They don't like him, trust him, respect him, like the way that he's talking to them, etc. And it's very clear too that like Israel and the United States are sort of like trying to cause a war in the Middle East again. Even though like I feel like the Middle East is like trying really hard not to. Like they don't want that. In any case, it's weird because Iran is saying that they will negotiate with Washington, but they won't negotiate with Trump. So that's interesting. And Trump came back and basically just said, well, you know, I like that essentially if they don't do exactly what he says, that he's going to attack them, like military bomb them. He's just telling them like, do it or we're gonna come for you. I've heard that a lot of Trump supporters are pretty angry about him kind of touting himself as like a non-military president, that he's going to just focus on the United States and keep us out of wars. But then he's like literally starting wars with Canada and Greenland and the EU and Iran and Yemen. And I can't remember all of them. Can you? It's everyone. It's everyone. He's for sure very quickly they're isolating the United States, but they're also like causing a tremendous amount of conflict across the globe. He's upending the whole planet. So again, it's like you could almost like almost treat it as though like the entire rest of the world is just like one person, right? And it's like one person versus him, right? Because every single entity, whether we're talking about US aid or Iran, the country of Iran, has to make this decision of how hard do we fight back or do we not fight back at all? Do we try to like comply? Do we like, how do we handle this? But it's a risk either way, right? So if they fight back, they're risking getting embroiled in a nuclear war, which they might anyways, okay? Like no matter how much you do what a narcissist wants you to do, it doesn't matter. Like they don't get, it's not going to satiate them. And you may still end up in a war, right? So even if they comply with exactly what his demands are, that doesn't mean he's going to stop coming after them, right? Like, because like what has Greenland done? Which, by the way, there is somewhere a headline about Greenland. So I'll just talk about it now. Oh, yeah, it's the last one. So he won't stop essentially threatening Greenland. And like they're saying, we don't want you to have anything to do with this country. Like you're not welcome here. You're not welcome here in any capacity, official or otherwise. And he keeps saying, and now J.D. Vance is parroting, that we will take Greenland by any means necessary. And when questioned, he says they're absolutely not ruling out the use of military force. So again, it's like that's like picking a fight with like the nicest grandma who's just sitting there knitting. It's like just walking up to her and punching her in the face. What has Greenland done? But it's not about what Greenland has done. It's about the fact that he wants what he wants. He wants what Greenland has. He wants the waterways. He wants the natural resources. And I guess I read this whole fucking article about the technocrats in the 1930s wanted to merge Canada, Greenland, and the United States together. And actually, Elon Musk's grandfather was heavily involved in this movement. However, at the time, a technocrat was a little bit of a saner term because it's an interesting concept. And when I was reading it, I was like, okay, I can see something of value in this idea that they wanted, instead of politicians, they wanted scientists and engineers and like people, like experts in different fields to replace the government and to distribute. They actually wanted to eliminate money. They wanted goods and services to be like distributed in a way that was fair. So really it's almost like socialism, right? But Elon and Trump took the concept, they're taking like pieces of this concept where like Elon wants like billionaires to do that, but without the fairness, with heavy focus on money or like whatever currency they're going to replace the dollar with. And, we don't care if you die, right? Like, so it's like remove the humanity from that concept and just make it evil. And now we're taking over Canada and Greenland just because we want to. And we don't care what they say or if we end up in a war. So anyways, these people are bananas. And it certainly isn't at all about improving upon society or societal concepts or like reducing suffering, or there's not a single good thing behind their eyes. I'm sorry, there's not. They're horrible, bereft of soul completely. Anyways, so the Middle East is in a pretty big crisis with all of this that's going on, and Trump wants to make it worse. This is absolutely insane, but Trump is labeling Wednesday Liberation Day, okay? Liberation Day, according to him, is a day where he's going to unleash a new set of tariffs on, we're not really sure, right? Okay, so possibly the EU, South Korea, Brazil. I feel like there's other countries on the table as well. In any case, on foreign goods in general, and his plan is to free the United States from foreign goods. We do not have the infrastructure in place to replace these items. And a lot of those items are sold very cheaply in other countries. And so even though they're sold for more in the United States, but they're still sold cheaply here. And people cannot afford. Like, we're not in a good spot. It's not like, oh, we all have a ton of money saved, so it's okay. We can just eat the cost, which the cost absolutely will go to the consumer. Again, like what he's doing is breaking our financial system. And he's breaking the US dollar because he is putting us in a position where no one wants to do business with us anymore. And I guess he threatened Canada and the EU that if they try to like retaliate by creating any kind of like an alliance between them, he's going to retaliate back. But this, like, the whole concept of a trade war, I mean, it's better than a nuclear war. Like, I'll take it, I would way rather see us taxing each other out of existence than actually physically killing each other. That's fine. It's better, right? However, when does it stop? That's the whole point. Like, okay, so you do 25%, now they do 25%, now they do 20%. It just goes on and on until we're just no longer doing any business with each other, which is eventually probably what's going to happen. And everyone's just going to turn their back on the United States, as they should. As they should. So I'm sure the stock market is in for a really bad week, honestly. So immigration officials are expanding their social media data collection. Understand, though, that like all the way back to, I think, Obama's administration, there's been some degree of social media data collection when people apply for citizenship or a green card. So it's not like an entirely new concept. I think that they're just going really hard with it. And as we've said before in previous shows, like they're also logging into they're taking people's phones when they're coming back into the country and they're searching them. They're going into your social media. They're looking at what's on your phone. Okay. The last two stories are like kind of brief, but just, Myanmar is now, unfortunately, like the death toll is past 1,700. And again, these crazy earthquakes and storms and situations are going to increase with climate change. And all around the world, we need infrastructure that is built to withstand this stuff, and we don't have it in most places. Some countries have dealt with so many earthquakes that they have built more sustainable structures that are able to withstand like shifting and lurching and winds and stuff like that. But generally speaking, like the world is just not prepared. And, We also don't have, like, they're really struggling right now with aid and like emergency services. Like when something like that happens, there's people digging through the rubble with their bare hands because they don't have enough people to go. It's not like there's like people trained to deal with this that are just standing by. There's not enough of them. Okay. It's really sad. I'm going to spare you some of the other details, but it's just a really sad, awful situation. And, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but like, it's going to continue to get worse here too. This isn't just like something that's going to happen and affect other countries. Like, it's already been affecting the United States and it's getting worse. The last story that I have for tonight, I'm actually really happy to say that like some Republicans are starting to call for a deeper investigation into the Signal chat fiasco. And that is good. I hope that some of them maybe see this as like their way into trying to push back against the insanity of this administration. But again, like, it's really dangerous for them to do that. Like, it's, they're anonymously talking about their families and themselves being like their lives being threatened. And so people that are speaking out are pretty brave. As much as I don't like Republicans in general, I appreciate anyone who is willing to speak from a place of like sanity and say like, this is a serious breach and should be treated that way and not just like brushed under the rug. Because I do think that they are right now trying to wear out the news cycle and just let other headlines come through as they have always rapidly. Our news cycle it's moving so quickly right now that it's just been a few days and it's already dying down. And they're counting on that. They're counting on everyone to just forget about it, which is probably what's going to happen. I'm sure there's going to be no consequences, but it would be maybe enough people in office will push back that they'll be forced to do something. I don't know. Anyways, I have more chores to do as always on a Sunday. I have a very big week because I start my new job on Tuesday. Tomorrow is my last day with my team and I'm kind of feeling sad and weird and I'm really going to miss them. I mean, they're not going anywhere, but I just won't be like directly communicating with them all day like I am right now. So anyways, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a restful night and I'll see you tomorrow.